First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Welcome to First Contact Radio. Talk about all these things we're talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
It's time to demand the truth.
All right, welcome to First Contact Radio, everybody. How you doing today? It's Friday, the 16th. We've made it to the end of another week. It was a long week, hasn't it been? Really long week. A lot went on. The Supreme Court justice hearings that were going on. We had the candidates are out on the trail, and the censorship that's going on by the media. We have the revelations that's coming out about Hunter Biden and some of the other scandals of Obamagate and Hillary Clinton issues and human trafficking, and then QAnon being called out. It's been quite the crazy week. But I could assure you next week will probably get even crazier. So what we're going to do is I'm going to catch you up on the news that's going on today, things that are kind of important to put together this puzzle so we can see through this illusion that I keep talking about, so that we can see past it. You know, when I say the illusion, it's kind of like the Wizard of Oz. Okay, you go in, you see the Wizard of Oz, and you don't know that the little man's behind the curtain until at a certain point he gets exposed. And when he does, now you're seeing past the illusion of the wizard. So that's what we're learning to look past. We have a media that is keeping an illusion alive and well, and we need to be able to see past that. There's lies that are being told by politicians. We need to be able to see past that. There's lies being told by society in general, political parties, on and on and on. We need to be able to see through them, but fortunately, we have that ability to do that. Here we have a story that says 30,000 health experts signed a declaration against COVID-19 lockdowns. More than 3,200 medical doctors and health scientists from around the world have signed a petition against the lockdown put in place to curb the spread of COVID-19, saying the measures are causing irreparable damage. As of October 13th, over 23,000 of the signatures were medical practitioners and 9,000 were medical and public health scientists. They have joined more than 400,000 members of the general public in signing the petition. The petition is co-authored by Dr. Martin Kulldorff, a Harvard professor and epidemiologist with expertise in detecting and monitoring infectious disease, Dr. Sundra Gupta, an Oxford University professor and epidemiologist with expertise in immunology, and Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, a Stanford University Medical School professor and epidemiologist with expertise in infectious disease and vulnerable populations. Coming from both the left and the right and around the world, we have devoted our careers to protecting people. Current lockdown policies are producing devastating effects on short-term and long-term public health, reads the petition titled The Great Barrington Declaration, after the Massachusetts town where it was authored by the three experts on October 4th. Okay, so the lockdowns aren't doing us any good. They're just hurting us. But as we should know by now, these lockdowns are happening in Democrat-run cities, and they're being done for very specific political reasons. Nothing more, nothing less. That's why President Trump says that when we get to the 4th of November, that's probably when all of this stuff's going to come to an end. It's unfortunate because a lot of people are being hurt in so many ways during this, not only financially, but they're being hurt physically. Their mental well-being, being locked up all the time, not being able to get out to do the things that you want to do. That's a problem. You know, relationships sometimes need to have that space where people can get apart from each other. But when people are in close proximity, it puts a lot of extra pressures that people don't normally have. I mean, we all know the problems. Not to mention the health problems that are coming from people that have been wearing masks continuously. And then the CDC admitting that in their last study that 70% of the people with COVID are people who've been wearing masks, according to one of their studies that they were doing. So something more is going on, and we are being fooled, and we need to wake up. Okay, so let's go from COVID. Let's switch gears over here to some scandals that are taking place. Hunter is one of the good places to start. This is another bit of information different from what was presented the other day. This is China Inc. Emails reveal Hunter Biden's associates helped communist-aligned Chinese elites secure White House meetings. Newly obtained emails from a Hunter Biden business partner lay out detail on how Vice President's son and his colleagues used their access to the Obama administration to arrange private meetings for potential foreign clients and investors at the highest levels in the White House. These never before revealed emails outline how a delegation of Chinese investors and Communist Party officials managed to secure a private, off-the-books meeting with then Vice President Joe Biden. In a 2011 email, Hunter Biden's business associates also discussed developing relations with one called China Inc. as part of a new push on soft diplomacy for the Chinese. These emails are completely unconnected to the Hunter Biden emails being released by the New York Post. These and more explosive, never before revealed emails were provided by Schweitzer by Bhavan Cooney, a one-time Hunter Biden and Devon Archer business associate. Cooney is currently in prison, serving a sentence for his involvement in the 2016 bond fraud investment. In 2019, Cooney reached out to Schweitzer after becoming familiar with the revelations in the 2018 book Secret Empires. Cooney explained that he believes he was the fall guy for the fraud scheme and that Archer and Hunter Biden had avoided responsibility. Archer, who was also convicted in the case, saw a federal judge vacate his conviction, but an appellate court overturned the lower court's judge's ruling, reinstating Archer's conviction in the case. Archer, Hunter Biden's longtime business partner, awaits sentencing. Cooney, their associate, who is currently serving prison sentence on his conviction in the matter, later reestablished contact with Schweitzer through the investigative journalist Matthew Timrant. From prison, Cooney provided Schweitzer with written authorization, his email account name and password to his Gmail account to retrieve these emails. He authorized in writing the publication of these emails, notable because it is the first time a close associate has publicly confirmed Hunter's trading on his father's influence. The emails offer a unique window into just how the Biden universe conducted business during the Obama-Biden administration. The associate sought to trade on Hunter Biden's relationship with and access to his father and the Obama-Biden White House in order to generate business. For instance, on November 5th, 2011, one of Archer's business contacts forwarded him an email teasing an opportunity to gain potentially outstanding new clients by helping to arrange White House meetings for a group of Chinese executives and government officials. The group was the China Enterprise and Entrepreneur Club, otherwise known as CEC, and the delegation included Chinese billionaires, Chinese Communist Party loyalists, and at least one rejected diplomat from Beijing. Despite its benign name, CEC has been called a second foreign ministry for the People's Republic of China, a communist government that closely controls most businesses in its country. CEC was established in 2006 by a group of businessmen and Chinese government diplomats. CEC's leadership boasts numerous senior members in the Chinese Communist Party, that would be CCP, if you see the initials, including Wang Xingya, Vice Chairman of the 10th CPPCC National Committee and Deputy Secretary of the party group, Ma Wahan, and Japai Zaipai, member of the Communist Party and representative of the 16th National Congress, among others. I know it's a political season and people are hesitant, but a group like this does not come along every day. An intermediary named Mohammed A. Khashoggi wrote on behalf of the CEC, an associate of Hunter Biden and Devon Archer. A tour of the White House and a meeting with a member of the Chief Staff Office and John Kerry would be great, Khashoggi said before, including what should have been a major red flag. Not sure if one has to be registered to do this. Presumably, Khashoggi meant a registered lobbyist under the Foreign Agents Registration Act. Khashoggi believed the trip presented a soft diplomacy play that could be very effective and would give Hunter Biden's business partners good access to China for any deal in the future. Okay, so there's more to the article, but you get the point of what's going on. Look, let's say Joe Biden became president. Hunter Biden now has all of this dirt on him. Now Joe Biden has dirt on him that is going to be used against him. He's going to be owned by the Chinese. he's going to be owned by the Ukrainians and anyone else that they did business dealings with. That's not a good thing for our country, to be owned by some other foreign entity. We've been going through that years and years and years with the whole New World Order push. Now it's time for us to be able to have the strength to completely step away from it altogether. This article here is Trump administration has sufficient evidence against the Obama administration officials over campaign espionage. President Donald Trump insinuated October 8 that Attorney General William Barr has more than enough proof to indict members of former Barack Obama's administration for spying on the Trump campaign in 2016, including Obama himself and former Vice President Joe Biden. Speaking to Fox Business host Maria Bartiromo, Trump said the Obama administration officials involved in the 2016 espionage should be indicted for their role in the greatest political crime in the history of our country. Trump told Bartiromo the Department of Justice has everything that proved the link between Obama officials and the spying on his campaign. When the DOJ prepared additional evidence, the president told Barr, "We got plenty, you don't need any more." Among others, Trump mentioned a 78-page report made by former FBI Director James Comey instructing the Bureau to get Trump. Inspector General Michael Horowitz cited Comey's report as evidence of illegal espionage and recommended prosecution. Unless the president warned Barr's reputation is on the line depending on his next move, unless Barr indicts these people for the crimes, we're going to get a little satisfaction. He said, to be honest, Barr is going to go either down as the greatest attorney general in the history of the country, or he's going to go down as a very, very sad situation. Trump added that the Justice Department head already had all the information he needs, which means he no longer has any excuse not to prosecute anyone involved in the spying. Okay. Here we have what leaked with Biden emails hints that an FBI investigation could have already taken a damning turn. Following a bombshell story about the contents of a laptop that allegedly belonged to Hunter Biden, revelations about the shady business dealings of Democrat presidential nominee Joe Biden's son quickly grabbed the national attention. Now, one tiny detail discovered to have slipped out with the story is hinting that an FBI investigation may have already taken the damning turn for the younger Biden, and that the biggest story yet could be unfolding before our eyes. The detail found in an FBI report partially published Wednesday by the New York Post is a barely visible signature bleeding through from the backside of the December federal court subpoena. A picture of the subpoena issued by the FBI to seize the laptop and the hard drive has personal details redacted, but it looks like the censor missed the barely legible signature. The signature appears to match that of FBI Special Agent Joshua Wilson, who isn't just some bureau pencil pusher. In 2012, Wilson was described by the Star Ledger, a New Jersey-based newspaper, as an FBI agent in New Jersey who spent 5 years working full-time on child pornography and child abduction cases. A child pornography criminal complaint from 2012 includes Wilson's signature, seemingly an exact match to what was found on the December subpoena. After an investigation, even mainstream liberal outlet Business Insider admitted that it appears Wilson was involved in the laptop investigation. A blank version of the subpoena form seems to further back up the original document's veracity, as the agent's signature matches up with the location on the blank form for the signature of the individual serving the subpoena. Although the nature of Wilson's apparent involvement is not yet fully known, his apparent signature on the subpoena throws another layer into the rapidly ballooning scandal. The alleged Hunter Biden laptop story has not been well received everywhere, with big tech platforms even outright censoring the bombshell revelation. Twitter, which is now blocking the original post from being shared on the platform, claims that it is censoring the article because the images contained in the article contain personal and private info, like email addresses and phone numbers, which violate our rules. While Twitter is arguably justified in following its interpretation of the platform rules, the heavy-handed censorship's proximity to a hotly contested election is raising some eyebrows. Twitter's crackdown isn't the only problem for the bombshell laptop article. The owner of the Delaware computer repair shop where the laptop was reportedly discovered has been suspiciously inconsistent with the story. According to the Daily Beast, owner John Paul Mac Isaac did not even have a solid timeline for the eventual involvement with the FBI. Business Insider also reported that Isaac's statement said he did not see child pornography on the computer. Unfortunately, a condition affecting Isaac means his eyesight isn't great to begin with. According to Fox News, the store's owner says his poor vision is why he was never able to identify Hunter Biden as the man who dropped it off. Okay, so Hunter Biden's got more splaining to do in this case here. They're trying to make this big push in denial that there's no pedophilia happening in the country or anywhere. And yet here is a case that there is somebody who's involved with an FBI agent who had been involved in the past looking at these kind of cases is now looking at this case. Then when you look at what Chanel Rion tweeted, where she said something to the effect of he had underage obsessions, kind of leads the idea that there was something, more sinister there, and that what was going to be found out about him was going to be a little bit more severe than what we knew about Anthony Weiner. So connect the dots, and it starts looking like it's going to be more problematic for Hunter than maybe was originally thought. And here we have a story. A federal judge allows whistleblower case against Clinton Foundation to proceed. Federal judge is allowing a whistleblower complaint to proceed against the Clinton Foundation, ruling the IRS abused its discretion in trying to dismiss allegations of nonprofit wrongdoing by one of the nation's most famous political families. U.S. Tax Court Judge David Gustafson denied the Internal Revenue Service request for a summary motion, ruling the whistleblower complaint by John Moynihan, a former Drug Enforcement Agency official, and Larry Doyle, a corporate tax compliance expert, provided specific, credible documentation supporting their allegations of possible tax-exempt legal violations by the Clinton charity based in Arkansas. Gustafson said the agency's whistleblower office wrongly identified Moynihan and Doyle's complaints simply because the IRS Criminal Investigation Office sent an email saying the issues in the complaint were closed. The judge said he had reason to believe the evidence that the IRS and the FBI engaged in some investigative activity. The record fails to support the WBO's conclusion that CI had not proceeded with any of the action based on the petitioner's information. Accordingly, we deny the motion on the grounds that the WBO abused its discretion in reaching its conclusions because not all of its factual determinations underlying the conclusion are supported by that record, Gustafson wrote. Gustafson dropped several hints of FBI involvement in an IRS investigation, quoting that the ruling from non-public information in the IRS records in which the whistleblower discussed their contact with law enforcement. FBI and Redacted has thanked us profusely and praised our report exclusively. As one individual close to the investigation commented to me, you and your colleagues have saved numerous federal agents thousands of hours of work. Okay, so good news. Good news. Whistleblowers proceeding forward. In regards to censorship, here we have the CEOs of Facebook, Twitter, Google are going to be at a Senate hearing on October 28th. Hopefully it's not just going to be a hearing where these three gentlemen, these three representatives are going to spend time lying like they've done in the past, and then they get their finger wagged at them, and then they go about their business, and then they do the things they said they weren't going to do. At least two of the tech titans who appeared before the House Antitrust Subcommittee back in July will return to Capitol Hill on October 28th, accompanied this time by Twitter's Jack Dorsey, as they sit for a hearing before the Senate Commerce Committee to dig into what happened this week as big tech, Facebook, Twitter, and Google appeared to blatantly and impressively work together to smother a story about Hunter Biden's seedy international business dealings, which included incriminating emails and photos that the MSN has denounced as hacked. Though there is so far no evidence that the materials published by the NY Post were obtained by hackers, the tech companies continue with the practice for at least 2 days until Jack Dorsey earlier apologized for the second time. Here he says it's official. Dorsey, Pichai, and Zuckerberg at Senate Commerce on October 28th, as previously reported. The CEOs voluntarily agreed to testify. Yeah, I bet they did. I bet they did. caught with violations, censoring the White House Twitter feed, and doing the censorships are doing, yeah, they need to be held accountable. But I hope, and I know most people probably hope the same thing, that they're actually going to do some action against them. You can't trust them. They all said that they weren't going to do this. They've all lied before Congress. I believe it's been twice. So, fool me once, fool me twice. There shouldn't be a third time. So, Congress, get your act together and take care of these people the way they need to be. Remove the restrictions that keep them from getting sued. Let them get sued for what they're doing. All right, a couple pieces about Rudy Giuliani. Here he's got this laptop and he's releasing info. New evidence, direct evidence implicating former Vice President Joe Biden in a pay-for-play corruption scandal will be released to the public 10 days prior to the 2020 election. Rudy Giuliani told Daily Caller's senior White House correspondent Christian Datok in an exclusive interview. The former New York City mayor spoke Thursday evening with the Datok about the new allegations raised by emails and text messages alleged to have been pulled from a hard drive previously owned by Hunter Biden. Giuliani, Donald Trump's personal attorney, did not deny that this is a political hit job. He said the reason he is releasing it slowly is to catch Biden in lies, as his campaign denies the allegations. Datok pressed him to release a copy of the hard drive in full so that the Daily Caller could verify it, but Giuliani declined. Giuliani further accused Datok's questions about the veracity of the information originally published by the New York Post as pettifogging nonsense published by the liberal press, and that asking those questions is a load of crap. We can deal with the process all you want, but nobody's dealt with the process. When they stole Donald Trump's tax returns and published it without verifying anything, and they don't even have an unnamed source for it, he continued. What's the difference between that and this? This has 3 people on the record, now 4. It's a hard drive and text message. If you read them, it's almost impossible it's not Hunter Biden's. Though he claimed the information he said he will release in the coming weeks will effectively end Biden's election chances within 10 days of the election, he could not commit to ever releasing the hard drives in the entirety to be inspected by the media. He said the hard drive originally came into his possession after the Mac shop owner created 4 copies to distribute to his friends because he feared for his life. He passed along the original physical hard drive to the FBI, finally handed over the copy in Giuliani's possession to Robert Costello, Giuliani's attorney, months later. He claims the shop owner attempted to give it to other Republican representatives, but no one would take it. Giuliani claims the hard drive corroborates a tip he received from the confidential informant about a secret meeting between Hunter Biden and former Deputy Secretary Tony Blinken at the State Department that violates the Federal Foreign Agents Registration Act. In total, he claims the hard drive includes 6 or even 7 FARA violations. And then Giuliani also claimed text messages sent by Hunter Biden indicated a kickback program where he sent half his salary back to Joe Biden, which is a Chinese method of corruption. He did not answer the questions about whether they were blank bank documents or other evidence supporting that claim contained on the hard drive. And last but not least, with this regard, here's a 38-minute video. Rudy Giuliani's Common Sense. That's for you to watch. He's going to talk more in depth about all of these things and explain them in the way that only Rudy can explain things. So there you have it. That's kind of a catch up on what's going on with all of the news and the information daily. So what I want to do now is I want to switch gears to a completely different topic. I began to touch on it the other day.